Welcome back, Study Island fans, to Understanding Study Island in just about 6.5 minutes by Mrs. Blair. So you've logged on now, and your name should be in the upper left-hand corner, and the date, and then the log out button is always on the right-hand side. On the very left-hand side of our screen, you have a main menu with some different features, like a message center if I've sent anything to you. Information about your class, you can always go back to your class, and information about you and your scores and that sort of stuff. We notice in the middle that we have any classes that we are enrolled in. You have your homeroom, and this one happens to have math as well, and the blinking red arrow says you haven't been there. So click on homeroom, and then you will notice that you have a bunch of assignments. The screen looks about the same, but you can actually email your teacher if you needed to. Contact them. On the left-hand side, you have due dates for assignments. Any red arrows, again, you haven't gone there, and if you've completed stuff. And then in the middle, if you click on one of those assessments, it goes here. You should always do test mode unless otherwise told. We can get into games later. Some of the tools that you might encounter once you click on that test mode, you're going to go into an assessment. And in that assessment, you're going to notice that you have some tools in the upper right-hand corner. These tools are making the text larger and smaller, which is very, very convenient if you have bad eyesight or if you really just need it bigger. You simply click on the A with the plus, which is green, and make it bigger. The A with the minus to make it smaller. You can make it bigger more than once if you really choose to. The other features up there are things like the highlighter, and you can actually get rid of the scroll bar. We're going to go over some of these. You can highlight things with green, yellow, pink, and blue. You can also remove it with the white. And then there's this scratch pad, which I really don't think is very successful with the mouse. I wouldn't suggest using it. You can comment on a question, but I'm going to ask that you don't unless we talk about it. And then you can also remove the scroll bar. Very simple to do. This way, your entire passage shows. You don't have to have the little piece in the middle where you scroll through the whole big reading piece. But we're going to show you, you can add that scroll bar back in, which is nice, because then you have the question and the answers below it, which is a strategy we use, reading the question first. There are different types of questions that you're going to encounter as you are using Study Island. The first type we'll talk about are the short answer questions. They usually have a very basic question about a sentence, which happens to appear above it. You read the question, you read the sentence, and you find the best answer. And when you get it, voila, a star appears and a green arrow to go to the next question. Again, that's the same sentence. Blake wants to find out why recycling is important, and then there's more information. So they talk about stuff in a box, and you need to go there. Again, read the question. Use your mouse for tracking. Think about what they're asking you. Make your best guess. You might have two answers, and if you choose the wrong one, it's okay. You have a chance. Make sure you're thinking, however. Go on to the next question. Longer reading passages will occur, and on one page you'll have a question, and you might later on have more questions about that same passage. So the important part is, again, use that strategy of read the question first. But then this is a long passage, so you're going to need to scroll down. You should use your mouse to track from left to right as many words as you can. Remember using all those reading strategies that we talk about. Back up and reread. If you check for understanding and you say, I don't know what's going on, hold on. Notice that here's the word serve, which is in our question. It's underlined in the passage as well. As you're reading, if there's something that you think, oh, well, I think this might be important. Maybe not now, but maybe later on. I would highly suggest that you go to the information, highlight it with your cursor, and then click on one of those color highlighters so that you can go back to it. Throw caution to the wind. If you don't recognize something, those are those vocabulary words, those interesting words, highlight it with a different color. If you see a connection, highlight all the connections in the same color. Things we talk about all the time when we're learning how to read and understand what we're reading. Again, read through every single word, tracking, because it's important. You will encounter this question again, or this reading passage again. You may need to go back into the reading to check the answer. verify that it's correct, select it, and then go on to the next question when you get a star. Again, same passage, different question. You may need to go back, but if you've read thoroughly the first time, you have a better chance. Select your answer after reading through them all, because the answers might be longer, and go on. When you get to that very last question, don't rush. Click on it, go to the next question, and here's the end. You should go through your missed questions. Reread them. Get the right answer. Go through. And when you're done reviewing, you're going to come back to that same end screen, and you don't need to review again. You're going to go to your final score. Shows what you've mastered, what you need more practice in. It's a great place to go. Now you are all ready to come back to school and log on and do Study Island.